looking forward to maybe face. You guys just not care and just want to see yourselves in that championship game?
I want to play KC, to be fair. I think they're the best of it. Them again in the final, like last split, regional one.
Well, Archie, I appreciate you sitting down, hanging out for a minute, opening up about the squad, and wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
I think it's really good. A good thing to hear when a team wants to play the best of the best in the region. They're not just looking total for the free wins in the region. They're like, no, we want to prove that this roster decision we made was the best. We've continued to learn, continue to grow, and we want to beat the best.
Yeah, that's how you can really tell apart the true competitors and the people who have a deep passion for this game are the ones who want to beat the best and play against the best because your mistakes, your flaws are put on full display. You can adapt, you can evolve, and to hear that out of RG is amazing. And to see this performance, I think that it was a solid one from Oxygen, and they're only going to keep ascending from here.
It's solid, but those first two games, when we spoke about it before the series, you know, how is Sony's going to get these guys, and maybe they underestimated them. I don't know if you agree with that, Turtle, but they certainly didn't look quite warmed up into the series. We were even speaking to Archie before the interview, and he said that he streamed some before the series, so they weren't quite warmed up for the Sonics at the start, and it showed. They got absolutely smacked in those first two games, but then we saw the oxygen that we're expecting from this caliber of roster.
They do make it on to the semifinals, though. They hold on, they get warmed up, and they push on through, and they'll be waiting for the winner of Team Vitality Moist. There's K-Corp, German Amigos sitting on the other side, but a top 4 finish coming into a new split feels good, especially CJ after making a roster move. You heard him talk about, hey, yeah, of course, this is a proving point. We've got to make those grand finals, because if not, there will be more head scratching of like, you just took one of the best players, how are you not there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I feel like it comes with rise at this point. Like this guy, whatever team he's on, he always elevates. And Oxygen didn't really need that much improvement based on what we saw with Oli on the team. So it's going to be impressive. But all comes down to this last one. Can the final teammate of Queso, Joyo, lift them up?
We'll see. We have Team Vitality and Moist Esports facing off to head into the Esports, of course, losing Rise, Turtle, and now they had replaced with Juicy. Juicy trying to get warmed up. And ready into position and say, hey, we can make sure we keep Moist where they were before in terms of skill and even elevate that. But Vitality on the other side is not going to be an easy task.
Yeah, and for Juicy to come on to this team, in my opinion, he's coming onto a team with a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility. I'm sure that, you know, Astral, no pressure. It's fine, just play your game. But in all actuality, he's got a big shadow to fill. A big role to fill. So
en vrai, on a Radouza et Alpha, eux, ils ont juste Astral.
And this is a good first showing.
Mais c'est lui. Ah, vas-y, attends, là, je vais voter.
These players are hungry. Alpha 54 finally getting back into the scene and, you know, making a run in the playoffs to potentially be one of the best teams. I know he's hungry. He's been patiently waiting to get back to the top. And I think this might just be the team.
Ça, je vais hiter. Ils sont tous pour Moist.
From player perspective, CJ, for Juicy, how do you fill in shoes like that, knowing that you know you've got a lot to fill? Where do you bring yourself in terms of focus? Do you think about, okay, what did this player do before, and I have to mimic that, or do you try to tell the team, hey, I'm going to bring my own thing? Like, what do you do to fill in a position like that?
Oh, it's tough. Look, I feel like when you join a team like that, you feel like there's so much expectation on you, but I feel like with Juicy, anyone really is expecting him to come take over the world. So I think he just has to play his game. Don't worry about replacing Rise or anything. Do his own thing and see how he goes. I think he'll only improve.
Mais c'est Astral.
Either Astral's really short,
au fond, il y a marqué en arrière-plan, il y avait marqué Astral.
To be in here, but yeah, no, this is definitely, in my opinion at least, going to be a slight uphill battle for Moist up against Vitality. Turtle. Vitality had a wonderful entrance into this European Open.
It was a surprising one too, going 3-0 in Group A, and they took down Carmine Corp, who, you know, we just heard Archie talk about how
Vitality ont 63% de gagner.
Vitality took them down in Game 5, and they won by 1 goal. So that has got to speak to the confidence where Vitality are sitting at so far in Europe.
Ah, Everrush perd 10 personnes. Il y a 63 personnes. Il y a plus de chances que Vitality gagne que Moist.
I was hyping up Vitality. Look, it's hard to... I can explain,
Non.
okay?
Quoi? Ils sont pour 1 Vitality et 2 Moist. Mais pourquoi ils sont pas
I
pour
believe in this
Vitality?
man. I think that the pressure's off. We talked about him filling the shoes, filling the role.
On va voir
I think
mes
CJ
matchs.
is right, you know, as long as he alleviates that
Ah,
pressure,
vraiment?
as well as
Les
Moist, you know,
premiers
not
matchs, je suis
everybody's
content de
expecting him
voir.
to be the best, and for that reason, they will
Oh, on
go to
attend
a top
depuis
tier team in
2
Europe
heures.
because the
Look,
pressure's a little bit off.
Rise is in the top 4, the tier is in the top 4, and now we're going to see Joyo in the top 4.
Ah, mais moi aussi.
These guys are
Okay.
destined to always be
Alors,
around
vous
the
allez
mark
faire
together.
quoi?
Interesting. I definitely felt like Vitality might have had the upper hand coming into this. But apparently,
Ooh.
I'm wrong.
Well, now I feel
What?
wrong. I wanted to have
Il
the
y
underdog.
a quoi?
well, I could be biting my own words here. We'll find out in the
Ça
match.
se fait
Why not? Let's head down
up.
to the field. Shogun and Johnny waiting by for our last match here. While Moist working
Vitality?
Juicy into the mix, Vitality
Largement.
seems to already be in full swing in the European Open. Let's find out if Moist can overcome them in our final series of Day 2 of the European Open.
Il y a... Ouais, je vais dire Alpha console. Alpha 54, il y aura 2 ans.
What they've got to do here to get the pick as they are coming into this
Lundi,
one. Not only
il y a
the
Astral.
Death against them, but you at home
Ouais.
against them as well. Talking here joined by
Oh,
Johnny.
Myfield, ça c'est ma map de train.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that, mate. What are you thinking?
Yeah, after the
Yeah,
showing
quoi?
vitality I've had this weekend, beating Carmine Corp and Moist looking a bit shaky in their group.
Non.
I'm of course leading vitality.
Mais
here.
toi ça commence, toi là ça
Give it
commence.
a
Toi là il y
special
a déjà le
shout out to
score.
Alpha 54. I'm hoping.
Ah mais moi là je suis pas, mais moi en fait
tweeted
c'est
a
le temps de décalage.
39-degree fever today, so I'm hopefully he's feeling
3,
good.
2,
He definitely
1,
looked to be in
go!
good spirits in the pre-game there when we got a chance to see them on the camera.
Juicy, qu'est-ce qu'il
I'm sure a
fait?
lot of people are also curious after
C'est vraiment un match de zinzin.
what's going on? Why is he sitting next to his desk? Well, I've actually had a chance to talk to him about that.
Allez,
He
Léo!
likes to be exactly
Léo!
the same distance away from his monitor every time he plays, and he doesn't trust himself to know based
C'est
on
jeune, c'est jeune?
just
Oui!
gauging the
Ah non,
distance.
Juicy il apprend.
So he wedges himself next to the desk with his chest.
Lui,
and
c'est
puts
Astral.
the monitor a
C'est
specific
Joyo.
distance away.
Astral,
So he
qu'est-ce
knows
qu'il fait?
that in real life, and not just his in-game camera settings, but his in real life settings
Yo-yo,
are
qu'est-ce
on
qu'il fait?
point every single time he plays.
Oh, whatever works for you. We'll be wondering though if we do
Radozan,
end up seeing
peut-être?
Vitality
Non,
go ahead to
dommage.
win this. Are we going to start getting the
Radozan,
eldest buff
peut-être?
be known as a
Double tap? Non,
thing
dommage.
in Rocket League? Because we had that at
Attends 2
well.
secondes. Ah mince!
Potentially might have this here with Alpha. Maybe not something I would highly encourage people to go looking for that buff, but still, Astral now on the chase.
On s'est pris un
Didn't quite
but.
get it this time around. I think the main thing that we had the chance to cast
Ah yeah, ça bug.
over Moist yesterday. The main thing for both of us is that when they are clicking, they look fine. But this was a team that was thrown to some very weird goals conceded, just out of nothing.
Yeah, they
Qu'est-ce qu'il
did
fait,
look
Season?
comfortable in their group stage match. The match that could have had them winning the group
Ok,
ended up
après 2 ans c'est bon.
it
Après 2 ans
ended
c'est
in
bon.
second place for them, in fact. But when they faced BDS in round 1 of the playoffs, they were a different team entirely. I think Juicy, who's now on the ball, looking for a solo play and almost gets the solo play. He had a big step up performance against BDS. I think he looked very comfortable on the pitch, and that's full credit to Moist, the organization, the team, Astral Joyo for being able to turn
Et maintenant t'es pour qui? Maintenant t'es pour
the
qui?
mental around that quickly, because they played the first round yesterday immediately after losing the group, so they needed to step up. It was do or die, and they did what they had to do.
Especially when you look
En
towards
fait, on a eu
Joyo,
tant de
that is a player
décalage.
that has gone on the long run during the last winter major, knows how to look beyond a loss and focus on what is up next. He's now on the ball.
Oh!
Goes into a bit of an awkward spot
Dommage.
actually, but does enough to put Juicy on the off angle. Good offense so far.
Arrête de
Just
mentir.
ticking along from Moist. Again, something that we did note yesterday, Johnny. Moist were doing a phenomenal job of not just lashing at the ball when they thought they had a half chance. They will just keep ticking away until they get the chance.
Ah ah! Et quand il y a un
And
but,
they've
tu me
had
dis pour voir
Vitality
si
on
c'est
the
du temps de
back foot for
décalage.
a long time here. And it's these early interceptions that are keeping Vitality in this position. Astral jumps on them as soon as
Ok,
they
il l'a
try to put him
dégagé.
on, and that's
Oh, Alpha qui la met! Ouais!
Alpha! For Vitality to break out of defense, but they just
C'est
needed
bon, là, y a
one
plus-
go at it.
Non,
Tyson down
non,
the
c'est
line
bon.
to Alpha.
J'ai refait.
Perfect passing play.
135!
That's why you want to pass out of defense.
That's also why you just want to give yourself
135
that option
kilomètres.
on the angle.
135.
Alpha did exactly that. Stuck around, and is that now going to be
Un deuxième, en
Juicy
plus,
tries to get
non,
back.
dommage.
Still would have been helped by the post.
Sizen.
Vitality, despite almost no time at all spent in the blue side of the field, are a goal up. Moist now need to make these opportunities stick.
Arrête de crier par contre comme si tu faisais le gars qui est le connaisseur et tout.
Off the reset, low challenge.
Elle fait la
Safe for the time being.
En vrai, c'est une game série.
Looking for the setup play. Had such a great
Si on aurait Kaidop, ça serait...
Difficult shot to take if anybody was around, and nobody there for Moist. Minute and 20 here, Johnny. They are the team down by 1.
Vitality.
Moi, ça
had the structure hold.
Wesh.
Bit of a fortunate save there, though. Joyo just fired it straight at Alpha, who knew nothing about it, but he's in the right place to pop the ball clear. That was a great chance for Moist.
Oula, moi ça bug. Moi ça bug.
Having difficulty getting that final shot on target.
Everything
involving midfield pressure has been good.
Là, moi je suis dans... Juicy. Juicy, il a fait le tour du
terrain. Has been tricky. Oh, that's so brave. Alpha just stands and dribbles the ball away from his own goal line. And he's still going, you know. That is unbelievably brave play by the Vitality captain.
There's been a fair few plays today that we've said, maybe incorporate this a little bit more into your ranked play. Yeah, don't do that one. That one's a little bit too much to go and incorporate that into your ranked gameplay. That is an alpha-only thing.
Non, moi je connais pas.
Onto the corner, not quite the bounce that Vitality would like to see, but compared to Moist, they don't need to see anything else.
Pas du tout air, pas du tout Asuma.
Has he got any help? No, instead tries to go by himself. Alpha does shut that one down.
Astral back
passes to his teammate. Tries the wrong foot Redosin. Joyo.
That
will be a 1-0 victory. And not a game, Johnny, that has answered a lot of questions that we have about this series. But one thing we do know, they know how to play defense.
Yeah, so organized in this game, so calm in this game as well, especially towards the end. They were on a 1-goal lead. Alpha 54 just catching the ball on his own goal line and dribbling it the entire length of the pitch. While multiple players throw themselves towards him, trying to get him to lose his cool. And yeah, Moist, they had a couple of very close efforts here. I think that they can just keep on doing what they're doing, and they are getting chances. But the final execution is what they've been lacking in this first game here. But yeah, shout out mainly for that goal. You know, it's the pass that makes the goal in those counter-attacks down the line. Of course, Alpha had the awareness to run down the line and be a passing option, but the pass is what made that shot so quick. Alpha just had to get a little touch on it, and the ball flies into the net, even from a distance. So Sizen making the goal happen there, the 1 goal, and separated the 2 teams.
And it was not much that separated them at all, because Casta might back. There was a very fortunate moment in there for Vitality where that ball could have gone anywhere, and they were very lucky to see it ricochet off one of their own players.
Astral, il a pris son...
Joyo, will he be stopped on this one? Tries to add an extra phase to the play.
Wow. Wow.
That is one where you don't know where the ball is going at all. You just hope for the best when you turn back around. Now Juicy off the pass. Nobody will stop this from going in. Juicy on the board.
No.
All getting a little bit too close for comfort there. Sizen crept up extremely close to the ball as third man.
Y'a personne d'autre.
You know, infield passing to third man, always risky, like we say often. But definitely when it's just falling shorter than your post there. Easy counter-attack for Moist. 2 counter-attacks in 2 games, and for 2 separate teams, leading to the only goals that have been scored so far.
This is going to lead into some Season 3 style Rocket League right here, where it's just long balls. Don't play offense. Don't send 2 people down that side of the field. You might get counter-attacked.
Oh, peut-être un but.
Non. This is how they conceded the first goal.
Alpha.
And the only goal of the game.
Have they seen how they won the last game and decided that they didn't like it?
It's not comfortable being stuck in defense for that long, I'm sure, but it was
no.
unusual to see the whole Vitality squad this far advanced in risky positions.
Attention.
They can work with low Alpha to himself, and that's the danger when you add that extra phase.
Alpha?
Recoveries in Modern Rocket League so quick that somebody is always going to be able to get towards that backboard.
Again here.
Now Alpha goes for it himself again. One of them's going to work eventually. Vitality are in constant attacking flow.
Allez.
I mean, Alpha's in a training pack.
Non,
He's in a
frère,
lean back
lui, il l'a
reset
save.
double training pack. He's just done it twice
Oui,
in a row
allez.
here. Go on,
Non.
Alpha. Hit a third one. He might, you know, it's in a good position for it.
Imagine,
He goes to
imagine,
the stealing play
Alpha,
instead.
il met un
Wanted to
Astral
just
Beam.
barely. Yeah, three in a row might have been a bit too blatant. Would have loved to seen it though. He had the setup if he wanted it. He could have had it.
2 ans qui part en air
Yet again,
dribble.
taking control of the ball.
Ok, il avait plus de
Team
boost.
down by 1. 3 minutes left to play here. Astral's got good purchase on that hit.
Ok, Radosa. Ok, Radosa,
His team
Alpha, il en a
a
imprimé
little
2.
bit of a push now to
Ok,
move into that
Tyson,
side
il
of
a
the field.
save.
Maybe try and scrounge for that second
Astral la
goal.
reprend.
It's not a match that's really flowed too much so far, Johnny. Everyone's kind of picking and waiting to see, is it really
Oh là,
my
il y a
turn?
Alpha,
Nobody's
il l'a
really
vu. Astral la
making that
save.
conscious decision to go all out for it. Apart from that one-time
Ici,
vitality, he did make that
voyons
conscious
voir.
decision, and it went very wrong for
Bien
him.
joué, ça y
Yeah, a
One
bit
just seems a
more
little bit
careful.
snake-bitten.
Bit more careful approach.
C'est
Compared to earlier in the game by
monsieur.
Vitality, where they were advancing very far forward with all three players, and I think Moist have also been very careful.
Tyson, encore un.
Great effort from Astral. He
wow.
doubles it off the inside of the post. So he almost scored with the first shot, and he had to follow through.
Mais il a
just
pas mis
in
une
case.
double.
That is,
Wow.
that's
Non.
impressive.
Non.
That's so impressive.
Non, non.
He's
Because
read that.
that-
Ah ouais.
That post
Ou la
is
chance qu'il a eu.
very much, I would say, the most difficult
Oh, la chance qu'il a eu que
angle on
ça
the entire
rebondisse
game
comme
to
ça.
read. Everywhere else you can get a somewhat good guess. That post usually just goes wherever it feels like.
Yeah, Astral
Radozan.
has made a name for
Reset.
himself all
Non,
throughout
il l'a
his
pas
Rocket
eu.
League career. Being able to read those impossible bounces.
Ah, il s'est kebab.
Still to this day, he's coming up with new ways to score, new positions to score from. That might be a third, but it's barely taken off the line there by Résolution, who's had a bit of a quiet game, and that's not something that
Alpha.
can be said for his
Alpha?
group stage performance yesterday. Résolution was
Alpha?
putting in mechanical plays.
Alpha?
He was, I think, playing
Ah,
more
c'est Jason,
confidently
c'est le
than I've
gardien
seen
de
him play on
l'équipe.
Vitality since he joined.
C'est Hugolo.
That's the one thing that was lacking in the last split for Vitality. They seem to be just putting too much pressure on themselves.
Non, non, non.
A lot of discussion about this four-man roster.
Lucie.
Plan
Okay,
that
say
they've got.
the-
Now there's half a
okay.
chance. And it's well defended. Juicy getting
Non.
a big clear on it. Tyson couldn't really make up his mind what to do. Follow-up touch.
Il a failli mettre un musty.
Yeah, still slow plays coming
No.
out from
Alpha,
Vitality. They
Alpha.
have
No.
got
Okay, merci.
just about enough time to justify doing that. But very soon, they're going to have to up the pace a little bit more. Astral waiting on the wall. Watching the ceiling does not quite agree with him. Alpha now. Off the ceiling to Résolution in field.
Ah, la
And
team.
just mistimed pass, as you said earlier on, is
Allez,
what makes
non.
those sort of plays. And that was not a pass that can really be worked with.
Yeah, definitely not for an immediate shot from that distance. It would be very surprising to see Moist concede from that range, from that infield pass. But I don't think Tyson needed
Attends,
to
ça me
shoot
donne
it
envie
first
de
time. He
faire
could
le
have
sourire
taken
de
his time
ouf.
with it. Like to
Parce
see
que
the
c'est
pass
les
we play from
RLCS.
Vitality. That's how they scored their only goal last game.
Et bah,
And they've got
RLC,
plenty
c'est.
solo play
J'ai
power to
Clemson.
fall back on as well. It is unusual to see Vitality
Non, non,
struggle
bah,
to connect
ok,
for this long.
clique,
Surely
clavier
that'll be
souris.
an opportunity. Choyos floor pinched it to get the save. That
Bah
only
non,
confirms
puisque
the
c'est
game
anglais.
win for Moist. Astral trying to add another one. And he will.
Bah oui, c'est S alors ça veut
To
dire
make
quoi?
sure it's 3-0. Moist. There's too much in the second game for Vitality.
This is a sort of series right now, Johnny, where I'm going to start
En plus,
wondering
c'est même
about
pas
the
le
staff
même
behind
team.
them, because both teams not quite hitting, I would say, even their
Attends,
third
Lucas,
or
moi je vais
fourth
te dire
gear,
c'est quoi ton
from what we know
matériel
that
à
they are
toi.
capable of. It's going to be out which coaching
Toi,
staff
tu
can
as-
get their teams into as close to the prime as possible. 1-0 victory, followed up by 3-0
Comment tu sais? C'est du
as
montage.
possible.
J'ai le navigateur.
Toi, tu as une Quadro P400, une mémoire de 6 Go. Après,
Attends, R, y a... ça a bugué. Ça a bugué, s'il
P3.
te plaît.
De quoi?
Ça a bugué le live sur Discord.
Quel live sur Discord?
Attends.
Moi, j'avais pas fait de live sur Discord.
Non, mais genre de trucs. Il a bugué. Tu peux me le renvoyer, s'il te plaît?
YouTube.
Bah oui, là, le truc Most, là. Il a bugué, s'il te plaît. Renvoie-le-moi vite fait.
Le quoi?
Le live de Rocket League.
Mais tu l'as déjà!
Mais non, il a bugué. Ça a bugué.
Oh, mais c'est pas sur Twitch, je mets RLCS.
Mais j'ai pas Twitch, je dois me connecter.
Mais non, pas obligé. Oh, je me pète, lui.
RLCS. Rocket League certifié, voilà. Ils sont là.
Yo qui la marque? Non, Alpha qui la... Enfin, Radouin qui la sait.
There's a big chance early for
T'as combien de minutes et combien de secondes?
downward bounce double attempt. Something we saw Alpha
T'as
score
combien de secondes?
yesterday, made it into the top 3 plays of the day. Tyson.
T'as combien de secondes?
Clear again. This is where we've seen the
T'as juste à regarder.
offensive opportunities come from. Now Juicy, can he get on
Ah, c'est en haut.
No,
C'est en haut de l'écran. Moi, je suis à 4 minutes 10.
Realize that he'd lost
9,
control of the ball,
8,
tried to get rid of the keeper itself.
6. 4 minutes. On a 6 secondes de décalage.
Booms the ball straight over to Joyo.
Ok, Joyo.
Happy to boom it straight back. Alpha.
Oh,
As far as Astro
wow,
does
c'était
take
quoi,
control, of
cette-
course he does.
Ok, Radouin qui l'a arrêté.
Now Juicy goes straight for
Oh,
net.
no,
Did
no,
have Joyo
no,
actually to pass it back down to.
Oh là là.
Joyo, il est chaud.
Oh, Rodza, il a fait une
Net.
double save.
We still have Moist on offensive duty. Now Sizen takes back over.
Ça y est.
Joyo's actually by himself. He's got 2 players chasing him
Allez.
down. Who's going to be the first one to it? Instead,
Allez.
Joyo did just about enough.
Oui,
Now he's got
Alpha.
reinforcements, but Alpha up against the challenge. And it was good enough to keep the ball away.
Well, you know, they're playing
Moi, je suis à 3 minutes 20 et toi?
off the back of it.
Let's go.
Tyson
Tyson
pounces
1-0.
on a near post fumble by
Let's
Moist.
go.
Rodolphin managed
Ah, il y a
to
un
get
peu
the ball
de temps
into
de
the middle,
décalage.
despite the fact he's been bumped off the
Tyson
back wall.
1-0.
And Juicy couldn't
Bien
get goal
joué.
side. Joyo couldn't get goal side. Moist just needed bodies in the way there. They needed somebody to hit the ball into the corner, but
Je dois aller manger.
some kind of miscommunication has led to nothing happening. Hold on, that might be
Tu
a
laisses mon
second
live
goal.
ouvert ou
Unless
pas?
Astro can scramble, which he can. Well, that was all too easy for
Vas-y, c'est
Vitality.
quoi?
Moist not doing enough to.
C'était quoi? Non, du coup, les gars.
Now Moist needs to
C'était
buck the trend
là.
because we
Du
have
coup, les
not
gars,
seen a team
je fais la
score
fin
a
de ce live.
single goal after conceding the first in either of our first 2 games.
J'arrive.
1-0, 3-0. Moist have to
Mais
try and turn that on his head. Right
les
now,
gars,
up
bah,
against the Rodolphin, who is
Du
just
coup,
trying
les
to
gars,
turn
bah,
him into
petit ciao
pretzels
et
on the
à
goal line.
bientôt.
Sizen
Voilà, moi, je
passed
vais
down.
couper.
Rodolphin chooses to delay the shot.
J'ai dit, on était fly. Ah,
They've been caught out here. Yes, they have. It is another coast-to-coast hit.
Yeah, this one didn't even need a passing play. Juicy just fires it first time. He saw Alpha going for that side boost, and he knew that there was no way that he'd be able to catch up
Ah, ça bug un peu, les gars.
with a full power shot. That's a big mistake from Alpha. He did not need to grab that boost. What he needed to be doing, staying between the ball and the goal, just make sure that a long shot doesn't have a clean road through.
There's the lead. Disappeared. Rodolphin now. No boost with him, but he does bring in a player that does. First one to it. Juicy. Just delay off. Astral. Not far off making unintentional contact to turn it into his own goal. Gets away with it. But been caught completely blind about one coming towards him.
Attention, Juicy.
This is a series, Johnny, that both teams know that they can take control over.
Ok.
It is very open, with a very big opportunity to whoever wins this.
Astral qui met une grosse
Yeah, it's
patate.
also, I think, about time that we intentionally mentioned that Juicy's slotting into this lobby very well, and this is a player who's been under question. A bit of a newer player to the scene. Moist have put their faith in him as a replacement for one of the absolute best players in the world, Rise, who's departed for Oxygen, as I'm sure you're all aware. I think so far Juicy has
Ok, Alpha.
proven that he belongs at this level. Is I think great that he's got a chance to play on a world-class team and show everybody what he can do. Moist have really needed him in this match. They've really used him well at times.
Astral encore.
Such an intelligent player. Such a consistent player when his mentality's on point, which it seems to be right now.
And what would that say as well for the recruiting of this team? That they can lose 2 players at the caliber of Rise and Vatira and still keep themselves in that fight. That is something that time will tell. Vitality, on the other hand, we spoke about this yesterday, and this is to a lesser extent for Vitality, but they're in the same rough boathouse as BDS is, where they're a team that need a major spot. They did not get one in the first split. Now playing chase to the everyone else when it comes to World qualification. You want to make it to a major, you want that exclusive points total that nobody else in your region is getting access to. This is a nice part of the tournament to make it to, but you want to make it that little step further.
Yeah, it is that semi-final is the big step. Obviously winning it. Oh wait, that's
another one like this.
Astral's gonna get a touch on it, but why is this open?
What is going on?
Well, Tyson has just decided to advance with no boost and ends up underneath the ball, completely unable to get back to it, completely unable to retreat. I have no idea what possessed him to drive forward there, and if he's called for the pass or if Erdosin is called that he's passing, either way it doesn't make sense. Vitality give Moist another easy counter-attack goal. They're not going to get a 0-second opportunity. That is game over. Wow. In the same way that they conceded at the start of Game 2, Vitality lose Game 3.
And both the goals were from creeping up.
Yeah, from sizing.
Moist did not have to do...
Ah, ça a un peu bugué les gars, c'est pas de ma faute.
Do much at all in offense, and they have still won this one. If Vitality, surely they call a timeout. You don't lose like that. I mean, look, here's goal number 1.
Yep,
that should not be going in. Here's goal number 2. Yep. That should not be going in.
I mean, it's really quite simple. When you're making mistakes like this, it's easy to identify where it's all gone wrong. I mean, Alpha just has to know there that he shouldn't be going for the boost. You have to respect the long shot. You know, it's not a play where there's a pass, but in a way, Juicy passed the ball to himself. When you can fire the ball off the back wall in defense, the side wall, I should say, in defense, and then it comes back to you, you can use that power that you've already generated on the ball to get massive power in a shot from distance, which Juicy did. Alpha didn't respect that, they conceded. And now Sizen, 2 separate occasions, has driven forward in incredibly risky positions without telling his teammates that he's on 0 boost. I have to imagine that he just didn't communicate the fact that he's on low boost. Either that or his teammates are just not listening. Because if your third man says they have low boost, you should not be infield passing blindly to them. You need to maybe look where the pass is going to go before you just hope that they're going to be there. Yeah, crazy misplays from Vitality causing them to concede.
Now, when we see them in this poor position, it's almost not Moist I'm worried for anymore. We have conceded some similar-ish goals, but at least those ones were nice passes right onto the hood of Alpha. Vitality are causing themselves a heap of their own trouble.
Yeah, really hope Sizen could just get into the game here, because it's so easy to just tilt off the face of the earth when plays like that.
That's the reason why I was thinking you just call the timeout, like just cool off. That,
yeah.
Especially when you lose a game like that one.
Let's go!
Thought that they can just go next. And if there was a player that needed to get that goal, that was the one that needed it.
Oh, it's great control by Alpha. Look at what he's been able to do with 0 boost there. The fact that he gets around the ball and then gets just enough on it to infield pass against Moist's prepared goalkeeper. That's just perfect play. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but to get that much acceleration on the ball, to keep control of the ball with no boost available, every touch needs to be perfect. Every movement needs to be perfect. And that's what Alpha's done there. Open up the goal. And how crucial is it that Sizen's the one who's got it? That's going to settle the nerves, you would hope, for Vitality.
I just want to see any more long shots going.
Yeah.
Get it past plays like that. Remember as well, whoever does win this has got to play against Oxygen tomorrow in the semi-finals. Oh my goodness! Résolution! That was incredible!
Well, he found himself with a bit of space. And it's an incredible angle double. Goalkeeper just got on the wrong side of the goal line there. Juicy probably not expecting the shot to come at him at that much, with that much quality. Résolution has seized the opportunity there. And he's trying to do it again. Air dribble bump into the bar. Astral going to turn it around and attempt the same idea. He's got 2 players to get past and doesn't get past either of them.
Back out to Joyo. Heavy first touch. Doesn't mean that he is met mid-air. Juicy delays. Saw that Alpha jumped and Alpha still managed to recover enough to get some purchase on the ball. And again, Joyo with Astral. Doesn't get there in time. Juicy's by himself. Has he got the support in time? Yes, got Joyo to pass it off to. What a save that was. It's a save his team needs because they are 2 goals down here. They cannot go down by yet another one. Astral with Juicy midfield. Can he get it over to his teammate? He can! Saved by Alpha.
Well, these are better saves from both teams here. That's a less than ideal touch there from Joyo, though, straight towards Alpha. Well, he's now pinging back and forward from one end of the pitch to the other, but the retreated defensive line of Vitality is more than ready for that. This is not going to cause them too many issues. Well, this might, though. Astral, up quickly. Alpha handles it. How long can they survive this onslaught? Moist knocking on the door again, but the ball remains safe for the time being, but now it's in. And it didn't take much. Juicy, or Joyo, sorry, centers off the ceiling, just slams it up into the ceiling, and Alpha and Tyson both went for the back wall. I think if Alpha just stays in the net there, they're going to be more than fine. He joins his teammate on the back wall, and Moist capitalized.
Lots of time to work with. Joyo, I don't even need any of it. This has been the hot hand though. Radostin takes over. In field, 2 players went for it, but both of them for the same team. Juicy just covers for his squad mates. And now back in position. Moist looking to maybe send this to overtime, maybe steal it before the time is even up. Joyo off the backboard. That's playable right now as Astral comes in late. Everyone's committed. Now start keeping an eye on the boost totals of Vitality. It's going to start trickling down. Radosin's got the most of them at the moment. Has to pick his spot well, and he does go for it. It's not against them. Who's there first? It's just not lined up for Moist at all. And that's now a minute left.
Vitality's boost ran low, but fortunately for them, so did Moist. They couldn't keep the attack going. They're right back into an offensive position now. Joyo had infield options, went to himself. And he was easily denied. That allows Vitality to break free for the first time in a while. They're in a much better position to win the game.
And Joyo gets hit on his way up. I'd be okay with that actually, because he can now jump in. Instead, he's still being harassed, and Sizenton just bumps him away again. Feels very targeted, if anything. 20 seconds left now. Match that I feel has led to a decent upgrade in the level of play that we are seeing. Will we get an overtime to go along? Oh, wiped him out! That is pure bullying, but you do what you've got to do. Vitality 2, Moist Esports 2.
Well, that would have been unbelievable if Astral scored at the end there. A little reset, double to set himself up in the back corner, and then a shot from an impossible angle. The defense did not see that one coming. But luckily for Vitality, he hit the post, and this time he wasn't able to double tap it as it came back off the post in the opposite direction. Great press to the end there from Moist. They created a flurry of chances. I think using stealing passes really well there at the end of the game. A different surface than most of us think about when we talk about backboard passes. You know, they're just using the other backboard, the one on the ceiling, to create opportunities. But Vitality critically survived. I think if they hadn't survived this, I can't see them coming back. It's just too much to handle. But now this series hangs in a balance. An extremely close match. Both teams have made mistakes. Both teams have made big plays. Who can level up as we get to the business end?
And both teams still have access to their timeouts if they want to use them. This is also the kind of part of the series, Johnny, where we might even say those timeouts just don't come into use at all. Both teams have had good moments. They're trading games. Radosin off the backboard, and yeah, Juicy kind of knew that he didn't want to give Résolution an opportunity to take the back shots. And okay, this is starting to feel like a very big gameplay changes. Same way as Oxygen did earlier on, Johnny. Vitality are going bump crazy.
And Juicy with a reflex save there to keep Moist in a tie game. He just looks like he's perfectly capable of playing at this level, Juicy. Very consistent performance today overall, even in a bit of a chaotic series. It's another mishit from Sizen. I think he needs to still really get a foothold in this one. He's been uncomfortable at times in this matchup. Love this from Résolution, slow play, but gets hard read by Juicy. Still Vitality's ball though. Looking to just solo play a little bit more here. Don't want to take those risks with the infield passes that got them counter-attacked earlier on in the series. They're just playing directly for net for now. But that could all change if they start to create a bit more space at the edge of the box.
Résolution goes backboard, tries to catch Joyo out. Playing on that first goal of this game. Just keep looking towards Résolution at the moment. Maybe not his best first touch that time around, but he has been, I feel, one of the strongest players on the lobby, and now this is their big chance. Double commit as well. Sizen takes control of it, decides to slow play. That does give Moist a bit of time to recover. But
Let's go, Résolution!
Mistake after mistake. Eventually, that ball is bound to go in.
Let's go.
Well, Sizen's made a great play here, and Juicy with 0 boost could not get the critical touch as the ball went past him. A great rate of knots. Easy dunk at the end of it all by Résolution, but that's the kind of play we're looking for Sizen to make. Just trade 1 for 1. If you can, take a player like Joyo out of the game, that's a huge win when you've got Alpha 54 behind you. Nice job there as well by Sizen. Quick up in defense. He's had a big impact in this game so far.
Double match point on the line. Now guaranteed to at least be going to Neo Tokyo. Are we still, going to finish off today by going over to Champions Field? Right now, Vitality in the prime position to maybe not see that happen. Shot stopped by Joyo. Has Astral on the wall near him, who maybe not too happy with the way that ball was delivered to him. Oh, Joyo's got faked out a little bit. Now it's Vitality continuing to prod forward. One player down, Juicy in the perfect position just to prod the ball back up. But Vitality will not rush this position. They know Moist have got a mistake in them. Especially with that 1-goal lead, you do not give up a goal like you did in Game 3.
I like that more from Sizen there. The previous games we've been critical of him getting a bit too close to his third man. That time he was more hesitant to move in, I think, understanding that the risk is just simply not worth the limited reward that you've got in that position. And that's proven to be a more difficult structure for Moist to break down. Lovely control by Sizen centering the ball. Seeing so much more of the ball in this game than he has previously. And Vitality are the ones who are benefiting from it. Here he comes again, Sizen. Off the backboard, it's into the middle. Astral reads it the whole way now, brief 2v1. Can Résolution handle it? He's got to get across quickly and he can't get there. Astral to Joyo, and it's 1-1.
They did not overcomplicate that one in the slightest. Résolution, the moment he went for that boost, it was game over for him. Given the angle, taken the angle, one each. Massive minute and 10 seconds ahead of us.
That was just clean from Astral and Joyo. Joyo just moving away from the play there to give Astral some space to hit the ball into. It's much more awkward passing in close quarters, so he just leaves a gap, makes it impossible for Résolution to cover the distance. And yeah, definitely a mistake from Résolution to go for the boost, but like we keep mentioning today, he shouldn't be alone in defense in the first place. Alpha 54's gambled on a race to the ball and lost that race to the ball to Astral before Résolution gets called upon to make the 1v2 hero play. So yeah, definitely a full team mistake there from Vitality.
Alpha? No, il a touché.
Well, Astral has not really put a foot wrong so far. In a series that has sort of lagged at times, Astral seems to have been the most consistent hand out there.
Attention, Résolution.
That is an interesting mid-air bump.
Résolution,
All up. Juicy.
Allô?
Chase.
Alors, ça se passe comment?
Look for Alpha, who does not jump. Took his
Ouais,
time.
t'inquiète pas, je vois, j'en ai cru.
Even got this on the heroes required.
0 secondes.
One final opportunity here.
Ah ouais, 2-2.
Let's go!
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Oh, le seul qu'ils doivent avoir.
Unbelievable pass from Alpha, again
Shit.
generating so much power with almost no momentum, almost no boost in the tank. He
Shit.
just launches the ball at his teammate on the infield. We wondered if we'd see it late in the game. It was all solo plays early on.
Bébé, non, il passe ça.
Angles opened up again.
Quoi?
He's
Ouais,
covered
ouais,
in
c'est ça.
shot.
Ouais, c'est ça, bébé. On dit pas ça,
Forgot
bébé.
about the infield pass. Great switch up there by Vitality.
Let's
Alpha
go.
54, absolutely on the money with the
let's-
pass. Ardosin with 2 goals to seal the deal. Timeout Moist.
Il reste une, enfin 2
151.
en
Oh, there
tout.
it is. I think that's a smart move, given the situation.
Oh, that gives us even
Mais
more
oui,
time
mais
to
si
talk
les
about how
autres
amazing
gagnent.
Alpha's passing plays have been in
Ah, du
this
coup, 3.
series, because again, it's those infields. I don't know what it is, because and maybe you can help me a little bit with this one, Johnny, because I feel like when
Dis
it
qu'en
comes to infield
moi,
passes,
je
a
suis sur
lot of
Rocket.
them seem to be
Dis qu'en
quite
sortant.
well read by the defending team. But when it comes to
Yeah.
Alpha, I don't know if it's because it feels like he's in an impossible angle and he still manages it, but he catches teams out.
Yeah, it's just those little side flips. Both of his low boost infield passes have utilized one of the most simple things in Rocket League, just side flipping into the ball. But it's side flipping into the ball and making sure that you hit the ball with the front edge
Dis-moi,
of
j'ai
the car,
regardé,
the
tu sais,
front
pour,
corner. Can generate
tu sais,
an
là,
incredibly
le,
surprising amount of power on the ball.
pas-
It's something you'll
là-
see 1v1 players do quite a lot, where
Ah,
they
tu
just
sais,
get
t'as
right
capté là
beside the
le
ball
truc qu'on avait
and
vu.
they'll be barely moving, and then suddenly a
combo
side
de
flip
Fennec.
sends it to the bottom corner faster than the keeper can react to. Definitely one that, you know, we're talking earlier on about things you don't want to try and copy from Alpha.
Non, non,
It's
c'était
just
aussi sur
gonna
la
get you in
2 minutes.
trouble in your ranked games. That's something I would suggest you to go and try at home. As just those
Sur
little
la-
side flips
sur
where
la
you're barely
Fennec.
moving. You'd be amazed how quickly that you can get the
Vas-y,
ball going
attends. Je vais
with just a
chercher.
little power. But yeah, you need to be perfect with it. You need to get a perfect contact point, like Alpha 54 did there. And you know, we've also got to give props to Résolution for being there. I mean,
Yeah.
how frustrating is it when you've got a 0-second or, you know, a
2021.
near the end of the game opportunity, you center the ball and no one's there. I mean, we've all been there, I'm sure. We can all relate. That time, Alpha would have been delighted to look up to his left and see a teammate waiting for him in the middle with full faith that the pass is coming towards him, and buried the shot in the top corner as well. Perfect placement. Yeah, started off the game with a pretty easy dunk goal from Résolution before he was thoroughly outplayed in a 2v1. Look at that there.
Voilà, c'est bon.
Résolution darting forward, giving Alpha the option, and Moist didn't
Pas grave.
realize till it was too late.
I do love what we're seeing, the animation that we're getting from Vitality as well. We're
Ah,
still almost, well,
RL6.
up and walking around, talking to each other,
RL6, non.
getting themselves ready for what could be a big
RL6.
one, maybe 2 matches. I'm pulling towards
RL6
2,
normal.
but it is up to Moist.
Ok, bah vas-y, au pire, pas grave si je joue.
4-1 this season after calling
Mais alors,
it
c'est
time.
vraiment urbain, ça.
So, statistically, we are guaranteed 80% chance of going to Champions Field.
Bah alors, c'était quoi?
And Vitality put another notch
Ça ressemblait,
against
hein.
them and send themselves through to that semi-finals.
Yeah, we need to see a game 7 as well for
Mais qu'est-ce que ça
scientific
peut
purposes
être?
to find
Attends, je
out
vais
if
chercher
it was
sur
Moist who had the game
YouTube.
7 ice or if Rise took it with him when he left. We haven't really seen.
Have we guaranteed that it wasn't Vatira's then?
Oh, I think
Attends,
they
bah, je
had
peux
some
plus
game
son
7
ça.
ice when Vatira
Oh.
left. You know,
Les
they're still
combos les
flashing
plus
up some
fire.
goals, but yeah, I'd love to see the stats on it now that we've got the full comparison. But yeah, this would be their first game 7 with the new roster. If
Oh,
they
I
go the
see
distance.
direct typing already. He was ready for this one.
Du coup, attends.
We're to get Sizen back into the play already. He has looked more comfortable in the last few moments.
Du coup... Attends, c'était quoi?
Well, he's
C'est
given us
quoi,
there's only been 3 game 7s in Europe this season. That is
Oh,
weird,
Lucas,
actually.
Lucas.
At this point last season, it was 8. Oh, Europe has decided
du
to
coup,
not give us Champions Field that often this season. but
c'était quoi
maybe
déjà
we can get it this time.
que je devais voir sur YouTube?
Yeah, most of Moist and Team Gaze's Champions
Ah ouais.
Field seem
Les-
to, you know,
Mhm.
happen on lands as well. A lot of them certainly, if not most. I don't know if you've noticed, by the way, that
Aïe,
Joy isn't the dominant at the moment. So
Joy has been. I stopped looking because Joy was left the lobby after every single loss.
yeah, so it's often just a change of preset, but now he's made a
Mon
complete chart
canon
change. He's
spécial
switched into
Fennec.
the
Top 10
dominance,
des
and he
amis
started
Rocket
this series in
League.
the Fennec,
Batou.
and that really communicates solid play. When you think Fennec, you think, okay, this is just going to be a solid play style. consistent. Dominus is the complete opposite. It is a wild playstyle, and it's
Oh
not
là
just
là.
as Redustin and Sizen combine to
Bah, let's go.
completely outplay Vitality. Sizen
Let's
had
go.
the first defender jumping the wrong way with his pass. Redustin had Astral pre-jumping in the goal line with his. Yeah, they disguised their intentions beautifully to open the scoring.
If you're a Vitality fan, that is what you want to see. It's been good to see what Alpha has done, but you want those two linking up. And you've got that extra wrinkle when it comes to offense. So far, so good for Vitality. They might not give us our 4th Game 7 of the season. Just to add some more to that stat, by the way, Moist have not been to Game 7 yet. So we don't know where the ice is for them, but Vitality definitely took away Champions Field.
I know it's here. When he left, he stated that he'd rather not go to Champions Field himself. I don't think it's something that they've particularly enjoyed. Oh, hold on. Is that in? Not quite. An Astral. Not able to flip through the ball for the second touch. Well, Vitality get away with murder. The ball was on their goal line for at least a second. And they have
all the
somehow
people
avoided conceding.
The reads that he has had, oh, it might get worse. Juicy stops it, but they're not going to get one. No, Crossbar comes in for them. We stay at 1-0.
The patience from Joyo just watching the crossbar bounce. He could see that there was no Vitality player.
Ah mais t'es toujours en live?
A bit more of a calm situation than the one we had at the other end. I'm sure the comms for Moist are going to be anything but calm at the moment as the clock continues to tick down. Joyo misreads the back corner bounce. It's a failed experiment with the Dominus so far. Music to my ears. That means we're not going to see a resurgence of ranked teammates hopping in the car. Juicy quickly up for this, but Sizen blocks him. What an impact Sizen's had in this game and the last. Really elevating Vitality to that triple threat at times.
Joyo now up, and this is where that Dominus is supposed to come into effect. Much more difficult to read the touches once he reaches the air. Well, didn't quite work though, and time has ticked away ever so quickly. Only 90 seconds left. After one opportunity, just got stuck on the goal line. Moist have not generated anything since, and Alpha is proving why he is that guy. Again, off the demo, opportunity, stealing Reese! And you just knew, once the reset happened, it was a matter of time.
Oh, he might be sick IRL, but he's sick in game today, of all days. And that puts Vitality on the brink of a semi-final in the first event of the winter split. We agreed yesterday, Moist have got their absolute baseline minimum success for this split. They, of course, have to do better than this if they're going to finish top 5. But what a win this is for Vitality. What a weekend it is. They've just stolen VDS top 8 spot onto qualify for the next event. They're going to greater heights. They're looking to advance into a top 5 and secure a spot for LAN. Just 42 seconds away. Astral tries to make a solo play, but Redustin just clatters him on the recovery. Puts an end to that play before it could begin.
Well, if we are going to see Moist go any further in this, then it has to be the most icy performance ever. Need 2 goals, and they need them soon. At this current rate, it doesn't look like it's happening. They're scrabbling just to get contact on the ball, let alone create an offensive opportunity. Juicy to Astral, off the wall. Joyo is in the midfield, but that's not going to work for them. Just need to get rid of the ball one more time, but time has ticked away. And Rocket League's sleeping giant appears to be back. Team Vitality have gone to Championship Sunday.
Let's go!
And you know, through a Moist roster, have had their struggles this weekend, but I think still can't be too upset with how things are going today. You know, back to the drawing board, yes, definitely. You know, lots to be improved on. Absolutely. But this Vitality roster is undefeated on the weekend. They beat Carmine Corp in the group, so I think Moist have to remind themselves of that Vitality have played exceptionally well. Took a bit for them to warm up into this series. Vitality definitely didn't have the best run in the middle of it, but yeah, when Sizen woke up, when he solidified, I think it was all Vitality. That was really the question mark. The only question mark remaining after Moist took the lead in the series. Well, will Sizen keep his head? Will he keep his cool? Because there was a couple of mistakes that could have tilted him.
Glossy,
Vitality have avoided that. And when they're all playing with confidence, they look like a beastly roster that could go the whole way.
Yeah, that is a squad that I am looking forward to seeing how it's going to develop. And even if this result did happen, just this entire notion of a 4-person roster, which we have not seen. That is something that is still yet to develop.
T'inquiète.
Yeah, can't wait. I mean, Sizen and Résolution are going to be competing against each other, but most importantly, competing against.
Mais c'est pas grave si je le vois pas.
Can't wait to see more as we head back over to the desk.
Il y a rien qui change. Moi, ça fait pas du tout ça.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I wouldn't be super sad if,
okay.
if voted for Moist because they at least put up a fight. But yeah, there was definitely some ramp up there, Colt, for Vitality, especially near the end.
Yeah, I mean, Team Vitality, Shogun at the end was talking about how they are going to be bringing in Zen, but right now the 3 of these guys look fantastic. I mean, they are the only unbeaten team so far in this tournament after G1 lost earlier on quite convincingly to Carmine Corp. And again, what a performance that was. I mean, credit to Moist, credit to Joyo in particular. He keeps losing teammates and then dragging himself right back to the top of EU, being in that conversation. But I think CJ, Vitality just looked that little bit better than Moist on the pitch today.
Yeah, and an enormous effort, really. Alpha54, he tweeted before that he had a little bit of a temperature, wasn't quite feeling up to it. And Vitality, I guess there's never been a question mark on their ability individually or when they are playing well, but can they back it up? They had a brilliant day yesterday, and we saw it again today. So we're starting to see some consistency from this roster, which is massive.
And what I'm loving as well is the freedom that they are playing with. Johnny mentioned at the start, you know, there were a couple of awkward situations, and clearly they're not getting on top of each other. They're keeping the faith, and Alpha is a player who I think for a very long time hasn't had full faith in his teammates, and when he has it, I mean, the goal that he got at the end, Leaf, was I think the best goal we've seen so far in this event.
Oh yeah, I think this is phenomenal. The fact that we talk about him coming into this not feeling well and still being able to perform and focus like that, that's got to take CJ a lot of focus for a player to just stay in the game and not worry what's going on with the rest of your system.
I mean, yeah, we saw the player cams, the reaction from Alpha after the series as well. He's relieved. He wasn't feeling it, but it's the makings of a good teammate there to be able to step up when you're not feeling the best. So it's great to see.
Hey, well, they get the dub, they hold on through, and now we're head over with Subi for an interview with Farah.
Hey, thanks, Leaf. Appreciate that. Like you said, I'm sitting here with Farah. And Farah, how's it going, brother?
How's it going, man? I'm pretty good.
So I got to ask right off the rip, how does it feel to kind of be sitting on the other side of things? We're used to watching you play, dominate on the field. Now you're taking a young team under your wings, getting the coaching experience. How's that been?
It's